Hello, and welcome to Sutra News. Donald Trump has declared that he would impose a 25% tariff on all European Union goods. Yes, you heard that right, 25%. Trump didn't mince his words. He claimed that the European Union was nothing more than a group of countries created to collectively cheat America.
Mr. President, have you made a decision on what level you will seek on tariffs in the European Union?
We have made a decision. We'll be announcing it very soon, and it'll be 25%, generally speaking, and that'll be on cars and all of the things. And European Union is a different case than Canada, different kind of case. They've really taken advantage of us in a different way. They don't accept our car, but I love the countries of Europe. I love all countries, frankly, all different. But European Union's it was formed in order to screw the United States. I mean, look, let's be honest. The European Union was formed in order to screw the United States. That's the purpose of it. And they've done a good job of it, but now I'm president.
What will happen if these countries or the EU retaliate?
They can't. I mean, they can try, but they can't.
China did. They imposed tariffs that went into effect. China's retaliatory tariffs on the 10th of February. Has there been any impact that you've been able to observe?
That's right. No, they can do it, and they can try, but the numbers can never equal what ours, because we can go off. We are the pot of gold. We're the one that everybody wants, and they can retaliate, but it cannot be a successful retaliation, because we just go cold turkey. We don't buy anymore, and if that happens, we win.
Are you talking to Eric Prince about?
He even hinted that during his term, he might take direct or indirect steps to break up the EU by supporting leaders in Europe who want to pull their countries out of the Union. The European Union replied to Trump and said, "Look, Europe is the world's largest free trade market. It is a boon for the USA. It's your problem that you're not able to benefit from it." Take Germany, for example. In its recent elections, right-wing parties have surged ahead. Friedrich Merz, a leading figure likely to become Germany's next chancellor, made a viral statement. "We need independence from the USA." Yes, you heard it. Independence from the USA.
The absolute priority from my point of view is that the Europeans communicate and are united among themselves. Currently, the larger part of European politics without Germany. It has, of course, something to do with the election campaign and also now this interim phase. But I am in close communication with many prime ministers, heads of state and government leaders of the European Union. And for me, the absolute priority will be to strengthen Europe as quickly as possible so that we step by step also truly achieve independence from the USA. I would not have believed that I would have to say something like this on a TV program. But at the latest, after last week's statements by Donald Trump, it's clear that the Americans, at least this part of the American government, are largely indifferent to Europe's fate. I am very curious about how we will approach the NATO summit at the end of June. Head towards June. Whether we will still be talking about NATO in its current state, or if we need to establish independent European defense capabilities much more quickly. So that has absolute priority for me. And I have absolutely no illusions about what is happening from America. Look at what Mr. Elon Musk has done recently in terms of interventions in the German elections. That is an unprecedented event. So the interventions from Washington were no less dramatic and drastic and ultimately brazen than the interventions we had from Moscow. Still seen. So we are under such massive pressure from two sides that my absolute priority now truly is to establish unity in Europe.
Critics say this is outrageous, but Merz's comments have resonated with many who believe that Europe's destiny should be its own. Interestingly, both Elon Musk and Donald Trump supported the AfD because the problem is that while the CDU received the most seats, it isn't as right-wing as Donald Trump would like. And you can see for yourself that there is one country in the world that is very happy to see all this, and that country is Russia. Look at the Russians today. They are crazy about Donald Trump. I see many Russian families where a new baby is being born, and they are naming him Trump Vladimirovich. For Donald Trump, the main aim for the USA is to reduce its debt and to make the USA economically strong. For that, whether it is Russia, Belarus, or China, no matter with whom he has to shake hands, he is ready to do so. His numbers don't lie. When trading with the EU, the US faces a massive $166 billion trade deficit. Emmanuel Macron says, "You see these $166 billion. Why don't you consider the digital goods you sell are in our country? Add them up. Won't these $166 billion work in your favor?" Now, Trump is not listening to any of this. Trump is saying, digital services are different. The internet is open. If you have the drive, you can build your own. By reducing the defense budget and placing all hopes on the idea that the USA will come to save us, those days are over. Now Europe will also have to build up its own armies. In Europe, like before, the marvelous roads and the beautiful cities you used to see will no longer be available to behold. Europe will need to spend more on defense very soon. In the coming times, Trump will also target the ASEAN countries, these small countries in Southeast Asia, be it Brunei, Cambodia, or Laos, and then there are some medium-sized countries like the Philippines, Indonesia, Vietnam, which have all benefited greatly. These countries benefited because, if you notice, when the 10 ASEAN countries traded with the USA, they reaped more benefits than they did with the European Union. Their trade deficit has reached $183 billion. Meanwhile, Russia has thrown its own jab into the mix. For the first time, a spokesperson for the Russian government openly said that the European Union is now in such a bad state that it is literally begging India for a trade deal.
It's just literally a shame for the European Commission and this aggressive West now to visit different countries that are not part of the European Union and to beg for some similarity, something similar to their anti-Russian actions. We see clearly that the global majority, and of course India, just have adequate assessments of this aggressive policy of Brussels and condemn interference in the domestic affairs of other countries. Now, regarding the pressure, we are sure that our partners will continue mutually beneficial economic relations with our country. It's just a shame for, in brackets, enlightened West to visit countries that they call just wild jungle, to beg them to support this beautiful garden in their frenzy.
Just hours ago, Ursula von der Leyen and her entire team from the European Commission began their historic first visit to India to meet Narendra Modi. The European Commission posted a video saying that this is a historic first, a visit to discuss a new strategic agenda covering trade, investment, economic security, resilient supply chains, a common technology agenda, and enhanced security and defense cooperation. They are promoting the idea that Europe and India are close partners and emphasizing that the two largest democracies should stand together. The EU is offering easier visa processes for Indians, making it simpler for Indian professionals to work and travel in Europe. In return, they want India to support sanctions on Russia and to open up its market. Trump's tariff announcement, Europe's internal political battles, and Russia's provocative taunts all signal that the global order is shifting. The US is using economic pressure to cut its debt and force change, while Europe faces a mix of harsh economic realities and political upheaval. As Russia mocks the EU and pushes for a new strategic alliance with India, the old alliances are crumbling. Europe, once relying on the USA, is now scrambling to build new partnerships, open its markets, and even rethink its defense spending. What do you think about these developments? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. If you found this informative, then please like and share our videos. Also subscribe our channel for more geopolitical news.